Hey y'all, what's up? JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Real quick, I want to talk about Robyn Dixon and the Watch What Happens Live sit down that she had with Andy because I have yet to watch it, okay? Or shall I say listen to it. So I am going to listen to it with you guys and we are indeed going to talk about it. But before we get there, I want to talk about Katie Ross, okay? Let's go ahead and get into Katie Ross first because she actually took to social media to let everybody know that she is working a minimum wage job. And this is coming after she actually begged Andy on social media a few months ago to let her back in on the Real Housewives of Potomac cast. Y'all know Miss Katie has been in rehab for some time. Her children has been taken away from her. So she's been going through a lot, battling a lot. And it seems like she's trying to get her life back on track. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into what she put up over on social media. And Katie says, Jesus Christ, I started working like a real job. I just got off of an 8-hour shift working minimum wage. A guy who works at a restaurant next to me, next to where I work, asked if he could give me a foot massage. I feel like a real person instead of a reality TV person. I made $14 an hour. Keeping it real, okay? So this is what Miss Katie Ross is letting the people know, and it's not an uncommon thing to do. I don't know what people be expecting folks to do when they work, on television. And then once they're no longer on television or in the entertainment industry, they got to get out there and hustle and get it how they live like everybody else. Just like the actor, can't think of his name at this time, who was working in a grocery store. And then, a lot of people saw him and they tried to air him out, put him all on social media and blast him. But it actually turned out to be a blessing for him because he ended up booking a lot more gigs, okay? So a shout out to him for that. And shout out to Katie. I mean, if you got to get out here and get it, you got to get out here and get it. And how I'm looking at it is at least she was able to find a $14 an hour job because the way they land people off left and right. And I'm hearing so many stories of people applying for jobs the past 6 months. They haven't yet to get a call back or anything. At least she secured something. Hello? So a shout out to Miss Katie on that. All right. Katie also took to Twitter to kind of talk about the Robyn Dixon situation. And this is what she says. She says, I keep getting stuff about Robyn in my feed. My opinion, there is no way she is fired. I wasn't even fired back in the day. Had to fire myself because I couldn't be real at the time. She may fire herself if she wants, but she won't be fired. That's bull. Not how it works. Next. Well, that's what Katie says. And I'm kind of like, is it not how it works, Katie? Because again, when Kenya Moore withheld a portion of her life, Miss Girl, what y'all said? She was fired and then demoted the next season. So repercussions definitely may come, even if she's not going to be fired. And here's the gag: Kenya Moore was that girl on Potomac. Okay, she was the star of Potomac. Robyn Dixon isn't necessarily the star. I'm sorry, she was the star of Atlanta. Kenya Moore was. Robyn Dixon isn't necessarily the star of Potomac. So she definitely should be punished, period, okay? She could have been a star had she brought that tea to the front the first time, but she didn't, okay? So now she got all this hoopla, and I feel like that's why she feels unfazed. Like, first of all, Robyn always moves like she's unfazed by everything, but even more so now because really everybody's talking about her. So we're making her a hot and a bigger topic, only securing her spot, in my opinion, for the next season. But we'll see. We'll see if he's actually going to secure her a spot, but that spot is going to be a friend of the show, or if that spot is going to be less episodes, or if that spot is going to be, less in pay, IDK. And then also, I don't know if Robyn could have possibly signed a 2-year contract already, meaning her spot is going to be secured for the next season anyway, regardless of what happens. So IDK, how that works behind the scenes, but I think she'll be back, all right? And as we speak of Robyn, let me go ahead and get my headphones together because we are about to get a chance, or at least I am. I'm sure you guys have. But this is going to be my first time really listening to what Robyn had to say on Watch What Happens Live, okay? Then I also, in a separate video, I'm going to get into The Mistress because after this took place, The Mistress came out and she actually had more to say, what Giorgio says over on YouTube. So I am going to check out that exclusive interview that he had with The Mistress. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and get this up on the screen so that we can get a chance to check out what Miss Robyn had to say.
We had originally booked you tonight to celebrate your wedding and lean into that, and we still want to do that a little bit. But Robyn, this week you admitted on your podcast that Juan had been involved with another woman during COVID and that you knew about it ahead of season 7 and that the situation had been, quote, handled.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
we all
mentioned on
do.
your podcast that Juan and this woman didn't date and he didn't fly her anywhere.
Correct.
Can you clarify why she had a hotel receipt with Juan's name on it?
Oh, wow.
No, Andy, the first question should have been, can you confirm that, or in what way can you confirm that he did not fly her into the city? That's the question versus how did she have, or how did his name end up on a hotel receipt? But okay.
You want to get all into there. Okay,
Yeah.
so I really don't want to give her this attention, but
Okay.
she lives in Canada. Canada was clearly on a strict lockdown during the pandemic.
Okay.
So
You don't want to give her that attention, but Juan felt so comfortable enough to give her that attention. And then you turned around and tried to flip it on your podcast by saying Juan just wants attention. Girl, blame Juan.
the hotel receipt comes into play because for whatever reason, she decided that she wanted to fly to Maryland. And she had told Juan that she was dating.
I'm going to be doing a lot of pausing throughout this because I already know Robyn finna be on some FS for sure. Girl, the woman flew into y'all area to see your man. Like, not just randomly flying in. No, she flew in to see your man.
And she had told Juan that she was dating a Baltimore Ravens player. So she's telling him she's flying to Maryland, and he's like, okay, whatever. But somewhere along the way, she gets to Maryland. She's reaching out to him. She tells him she lost her wallet in the casino, and she can.
Girl, let me go back some more because I know it was more I wanted to say.
Telling him she's flying to Maryland, and he's like, okay, whatever. But somewhere along the way, she gets to Maryland. She's reaching out to him. She tells him she lost her wallet in the casino and she cannot pay.
I got to go further back.
And she had told Juan that she was dating a Baltimore Ravens player. So she's telling him she's flying to Maryland, and he's like, okay, whatever. But somewhere along the way, she gets to Maryland. She's reaching out to him. She tells him she lost her wallet in the casino. And
Juan's first question should have been, well, what happened to the Baltimore Ravens person? Why are they not paying anything? Like, why are you not hitting them up? And if she's dating somebody else, why is he still constantly in communication and in contact with her? Like, it's not making any sense. Like, I hate it so much because, again, we've already gone through this. Robyn really isn't regurgitating any new details, new information. It's just the fact that what irritates me the most is that she literally just took whatever word she wanted to take from her husband and she just riding with that. And I'm just like, it's okay to question whether the things are making sense because you coming out here speaking on y'all's behalf because clearly he's not doing it. It's making you look like a bigger fool than what you already look like.
she cannot pay for her hotel room.
Okay.
So he feels bad for her. Apparently she was like, really stressed out, really distraught. He feels bad for her. He goes to the hotel, puts his card down at the counter or whatever, and that's it.
That makes so not sense to me. That makes so not sense. Like, that just does not make sense to me. She came there for another man that she's dating in that area or whatever the case is. Instead of her reaching out to that man, she reaches out to your husband and then tells him what all she has going on. She lost her wallet, XYZ. He feels so guilty that he goes all the way up there to put his card down for her, and that's it, and he left. And that's it, and he left. It's so weird because I just feel like I'm not going to say a relationship, but some type of friendship or some type of connection definitely developed for you to get out of your bed, to go down to where somebody else is, not notify your wife at all, put your name down on a hotel receipt or whatever for this person, and just leave. I refuse to believe that he went down there and just left and nothing else happened. I don't know what woman, even if her husband is telling the truth, I don't know what woman is going to sit up here and just really believe that that's what happened.
Oh,
Okay, so so that was the only time they met in person?
yes.
And
It's the confidence for me because I'm just still wondering, how do you know for a fact that they only met in person once? Where are your receipts coming from?
I guess this could sound like BS to a lot of
Thank
people.
you,
It sounded
Andy.
like BS to me.
Okay.
Honestly, like when I found out about it, it sounded like BS to me. But he was very, he was.
You
being,
believe him?
I believe him. Just and also based on like what
Let her
she
finish.
revealed last week.
Okay.
I believe him.
Here's my thing. You're on a reality show about your life.
Yeah.
And infidelity has been the hot topic of the
Facts.
season.
It has.
And you've played a part in the conversations. So how do you stay silent through the season?
Because it was so in the back of my mind. Like we dealt with it, we moved on from it. I don't know why I would.
This is bullshit, Robyn. I don't care nothing about. This is BS. Period. It was so in the back of my mind. How was it in the back of your mind when you said on your own podcast that you had been sitting here waiting, sitting on ready, waiting for the ladies to air out at any moment the situation regarding you and your fiance at the time? So how was it so far back in your mind when you already were prepared with the game plan to attack, the situation once it came out? That's not making any sense, Robyn. You're playing in the people's face as you did on today.com.
Say, hey guys, pick me. Let's talk about my issue.
The expectation is that you're sharing everything that's going on in your life.
Right.
So that's why it's not about pick me, wait to be picked. It's, hey, we went through something and this is what's happening in our lives.
Thank you, Andy, which is what I've said a long time ago. A lot of women don't wait around. When it came to Kenya Moore, I don't think Kenya Moore allowed Cynthia to tell us about Mark. We ended up seeing what it was with Mark, and Kenya came out and told her own story, just as with everybody else. So that's a problem. I'm sorry. That is just such a big problem for me. I'm not saying he should fire Robyn. He could demote her. He could do something. I don't know. But I don't like that. You don't get to, drag other people's tea or whatever the case is. And when it's your turn to sit in the hot seat, you're not sitting in the hot seat. And then, in all honesty, you're actually being rewarded. Personally, if you ask my opinion, because you're getting the opportunity to sit down, tell a story you already told on the podcast, right? You're getting to sit down and get the exposure on Watch What Happens Live with your story. And then you're actually going to get a whole nother segment after the reunion dedicated to specifically you. Now, what is this sit down going to be if you've already addressed things on Watch What Happens Live? Is this going to be your way of announcing that you won't be returning to the show and them making it seem like it's going to be your decision? What could you possibly share with us on a one-on-one sit down? Now, I just don't know what she could tell us when she's already done it on her podcast and she's already done it on Watch What Happens Live. What is the point of the other one-on-one conversation that they're supposed to have after the reunion? What is the indeed purpose of that? If anything, y'all are only rewarding her and giving her more exposure. I don't understand it. And I don't know. Maybe y'all want to get all the clout off of it before they go off and do interviews elsewhere. I'm not sure. But yikes.
But it wasn't an issue at that moment while we were filming. If it was an issue
But
while
it
we were
had
filming,
been an issue in
Thank
your
you. It has
relationship.
been an issue,
it wasn't
period.
relevant to where we were.
Listen, I'm trying. Let me not. Listen, young woman, listen to me. It irritates me so much, Robyn, that you are, and Andy, you too, that she gets to play in your face. And she gets to play in America's face so much, it irritates me very badly, because for you to experience what you experienced and then say that it wasn't at the top of your brain in so many words, it wasn't an issue. But you and Wendy had whatever issue y'all had last year old. It's been months that's passed. Y'all moving forward. And for you to still bring those same energy, emotions, and all of that into this year and isolate that woman, like, that's why I feel like you playing in our face, because you're saying this incident directly related to you and your storyline you couldn't bring to the front. But when you and Wendy have an issue, really guilty by association with you being cool with Giselle and she dragged you, right? You're continuing to make an issue with Wendy coming into the new season. And I just feel like that's lame and whack, trying to attach Wendy to be a part of your storyline when you have your own storyline sitting at home looking at you. The person that reaps the benefits off of you being on this show. Like, I just feel like you playing with us. That's all you do is play. Like, I hate it.
In that present time.
Another big criticism is you withhold the truth on the reality show that you're on, but then you sell it behind a paywall.
Well, I talked about it on the free podcast.
Okay.
Right?
And then you said,
And I didn't withhold, it's not about withholding information. It was because this information was given light last week or the week before.
Every time she says it's not about or it's not, like right when she says the words it's not, I know some bullshit is about to follow behind what she's saying so that she can kind of like flip the story to being what she wanted it. Well, no, it's not that I was like recording Wendy like that. It's just that I was trying to help her. I didn't want her to like cause any harm. Like, that's why I said what I said to Wendy, and that's why I recorded Wendy. Like, it's not like I'm just like, every time she says it's not light, I know she finna lie.
that's why you brought it
It's
up.
not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because the lie, like the lies.
I think that's called withholding information.
Thank you,
Attorney,
Andy.
Williams?
And she
I'm
trying to
about
flip
paper,
she
so
flipping
I'm
it.
here for the paywall.
Okay.
Thank you.
We know, girl.
I'm a podcaster as well, Andy, so we got the bag.
And my problem was
All right.
the female was telling lies and trying to, like, expose us. She was telling lies, and I felt I needed to correct the lies.
Was she telling lies? And I just feel like, here's my thing that I don't like. Let me know y'all thoughts. I just really hate it when men put women in these positions, and then when it comes down to speaking on said positions or defending themselves, the men are nowhere around. Juan, we are familiar with you. You put this woman in this situation. To have Robyn out here dying on this sword by herself, that's a problem. I feel like the least you could do is come to the front. So when we see this one-on-one sit down, it would be nice if you're sitting down with her and y'all can address this as a unified front instead of allowing her to take the L on the front end. That's just like, times where women have gotten into it with another woman about their man, and then they're going to court and the man is nowhere to be found. But y'all two are over here battling it out. So I feel like that's just really an embarrassment. Y'all are supposed to be in a space where you're happy about remarrying. You just had a wedding or elopement, as I'm going to call it, right? So y'all should be in a better place. But instead, and y'all just got married, a united front, instead he got you out here looking a fool and you're having to defend your marriage and your husband to this woman when all he has to do is come to the front and sit up there with you and take that L together. Like, I hate it. It's not making sense. And then you're coming in our face to play with us. And it makes me kind of wonder, maybe it's good, or kind of think maybe it's good Juan isn't coming, because then it would be two fools playing in our face, right? But maybe it'll make Robyn look better to know she got her man by her side debunking the stories. Yikes, girl. At this point, it does make people feel and believe that they probably won't believe a lot of what you say moving forward, okay? But we'll just see how everything's going to play out when it comes to that. All right, so yeah, Robyn's continuing to play with the people. It's full of SHI. And let me say this before I go. Watch What Happens Live. Andy, I said this before, I'm going to say it again. Ebony K, great woman. She should not have been sitting there next to Robyn. If it wasn't Juan, you should have pulled Giselle to the front for them to sit there. And for you to inquire and ask Giselle, why is it she brought up so much about everybody else's husbands, but she did not bring this up about Robyn's husband. That's who should have been sitting right next to her friend. Okay, so Those are my thoughts about it, okay? I want you guys to go ahead and hop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about all of this. Let me know your thoughts. That's all I got. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.